أن يتودد إليها باللسان. أن يتودد إليها باللسان. That he is affectionate towards her with his tongue. And that he is affectionate towards her with his tongue and his actions, even if he exaggerates in his speech and compliments her with qualities that she does not have. Okay? What's number one? Spend upon her. What's number two? Be kind to her. What's number three? Not beat her. What's number four? Be affectionate with his tongue. Ya akhwan, wallahi ya akhwan, I'm going to tell you some things I have seen from some people, ya akhwan, that we wonder where some people come from, ya akhwan. It's sad. We've seen, ya akhwan, a woman will ask her husband, هتحبني? فيقول لا. She'll say, do you love me? Say, nope. And brother, why you tell your wife you don't love her? It's haram to lie. You know, I don't want to lie. He's pious now. Tell his wife he doesn't love her. And we also see, ya akhwan, the sheikh said what? It's permissible to lie, right? Lying to your wife to make her feel good. Seeing a man will tell his wife that, you know, for example, if a man is married to a woman, maybe from Great Britain, but he likes women from Africa, he'll tell his wife, you know, you're really not my type, I like women from Africa. SubhanAllah. Who tells their wife that? When your wife says, what's your type? You say, go look in the mirror. That's my type. You're my type. Even if she's not your type. I've seen something worse than that, ya akhwan. We know that if a man is out in the street, he's at work, and he sees the women and they have an effect upon him, he does what? He goes home and he's into with his family. Does that mean that you go home and tell your wife, whoa, I saw some fitness today, let's go? It happened. Well, tell his wife, one brother can't, there's a beautiful woman at work. She's a fitna for me. SubhanAllah. What if your wife did that to you? What if your wife came home and said, man at Home Depot has some broad shoulders. A fitna. I can't go to Home Depot no more. You'll be upset. Ya akhwan. You have to think, if your wife did that to you, you will be upset. But brothers come home and they tell their wives that they saw some fitna. Who does that, ya akhwan? You make your wife think she is your earth. She's everything. That's what you do, ya akhwan. And if you don't like her like that, don't marry her. That's why you see her before you marry her. And once you marry her, you have to make her think she's everything, ya akhwan. SubhanAllah, ya akhwan. I couldn't make this stuff up, all right? My Allah got us. He said, so even if he said he can express his love for her in his heart, expressing a greater love than what is actually present. He said, and the Messenger of Allah, he allowed lying when a man has conversation with his wife or when a wife has conversation with her husband. He says there is no problem with a man lying to his wife like this, Shahwan, because it's going to bring about happiness in the home. He says, so therefore he'll mention to her some type of beauty that she may not even have, right? And he'll mention love, although he doesn't find this love in his heart. Now this next part, ya akhwan, you may want to let the women go out and vend at this point right here. Now this is another type of lying that the Sheikh said you can do. He said, if a woman asks you to get her something, buy her something, and you are not able to get it, and you're afraid that if you tell her no, it's going to be some type of, some type of drama, he said you can say to her, I'll get it inshallah. And if she asks you again, say, I didn't find it at the price I was looking for it at. You ain't telling the truth. You was hoping it was going to be free. So you didn't find it at the price you were looking for. So you can tell her, I didn't find it at the price I was looking for yet. He said, and you can try to stave her off a little bit until you're able to get it to make sure things are smooth in the home. Now, he says what else? He says, also, ya akhwan, he said, just like the man likes to come home and see his wife fixed up, he said the man has to groom himself for his wife also. See, and of course he's going to groom himself in a manly way, right? Manly grooming, right? So he's going to use, oil, and he's going to make his appearance nice so he can groom himself. Now, he mentioned the verse, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلَ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And the women, they have similar rights to that which they have over them, and that which is reasonable. And Ibn Abbas, we know Ibn Abbas, right? May Allah Ta'ala be pleased with him. He said, verily, I beautify myself for my wife, just like I love for her to beautify herself for me. This is Salafiyya, ya akhwan. This is Dawah Salafiyya. Ibn Abbas, he said, verily, I beautify myself for my wife, just like I like for her to beautify herself for me. Now, he said, ya akhwan, from the affection that a man can show to his wife is for him to share household duties with her. This is all still number 4. For him to share household duties with her. And he said, and the Messenger of Allah, his wife Aisha said about him, كان يكون في محنة أهله وإذا حضرت الصلاة خرج إليها. That he used to be in the service of his family, and when the time for prayer came, he would go out to the prayer. And Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr, ya akhwan, we know him, right? He's the son of who? Sheikh Abdul Musa al-Bad. He said, he mentioned a story. He said there's a student of knowledge, and he wanted to know what his wife goes through in the home. So he told his wife, he said, from Fajr to Isha, don't move. He said, I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean the house, and if the kids get dirty, I'm going to watch the kids. He said, when you hear the adhan for Isha, then you can go back to doing your household duties. He said, but I'm going to do everything today. He said he took a day off from work and said, I got it today. He said when the adhan came, he appreciated his wife. He knew what she did in the home, ya akhwan. He said, but some men, they don't thank their wives, or if they have a servant in the house, they don't think their servant, all they do is complain. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. He said, but they never did it, so how do you know? And he said, and it's not obligatory that you do it. He said, but at least you can do what the Prophet Muhammad did. He used to be in the service of his family, and when the prayer came, he went out to make the prayer. Now, he said, also, the Messenger of Allah, he was sociable with his family. He was smiling. He played with his family. He was gentle with his family. He used to race Aisha. How old was he when he did that, ya akhwan? Anyone know? When he had this race with his wife Aisha, how old was he? 53 years old. 53 years old, and he was racing with his wife. I'm sorry, he was 53 years older than her. Nah, Sheikh said he was 53 years older than her. Nah, he said one time they were out on a journey, and he said to his companions, go ahead, go forward. And she said to his wife, come here, I'm going to race you. Now, who won that race? Aisha won the race. She said, I raced him and I beat him. And I beat him. Now, the Sheikh said, La ilaha illallah. He said, he was over 50. He said, and he was traveling with his companions, but he told them to go ahead so he could race his wife. Now, he said, look at his companionship. He said, and then some time went by. And Aisha said, and I became heavier. And I forgot about the previous race we had. He said, so they were on another journey. He said to his companions, go ahead. And he said, come, let's race again. And she said, how can I race you and I gain all this weight? And he said, oh, you're going to race me. Because he wanted payback from her beating him before. He said, so I raced him and he beat me. And he began to laugh. And he said, this is for the previous race. This is the Messenger of Allah, ya akhwan. This is the best of mankind. Racing and playing with his wife. Now, he said, so he played with his wife and his wives, and he made them happy, and he would race them. He said, and the last race occurred at the end of his life. At the end of his life. Now, he said also, even when she was on her menses, he would be close to her. Aisha, may Allah please her, she said, I used to cook meat while on my menses, and so I gave some to the Prophet Muhammad and he put it in his mouth, and then he put the same piece in my mouth. He said, and if I would drink from a vessel, he would take the vessel and we would drink from the same spot. This is called romance, Shakwan. Drinking from the same spot of the glass as your wife. Romance. Now, he said, and he would place his head in my lap when I was on my menses. Naam, he said, and if he would spend the night with me when I was on my missus, then she would put a cloth on and he would still hug her. And if any blood dripped, he would just wash the blood up. But he would still hug his wife, even if she was missing, ya ikhwan. Naam, what else did he do? He said they would bathe in the same tub. They would bathe together. Naam. He said, so he is an excellent example for us. He said, some of the husbands, they moan and groan. They say, we don't have any time. We're too old to play with our wives. He said, he was 53 years old, and then older the second time. Now, he said, and not only that, he said, but he carried the burdens of millions on his back. He was in charge of the entire ummah. And he had a family. And he had children. And he had multiple wives. But he still found time to play with his wives, ya ikhwan. Some of the people, all they do, the men, the wives complain, they stay on that computer all day long. They get home from work and they're on the hasub, the computer, all day long. And they don't have any time for the wives at all, ya ikhwan. Now, this is number 5? What's number 1? What's number 2? What's number 3? Number 4? Number 5. أَلَا يُصُبَّهَا, that he does not insult her. That he does not insult her. This is a right, ya ikhwan, that your wife has upon you, that you do not insult her. Sheikh Sulaiman Rahili, he said, so he should not verbally abuse his wife, and he should not revile her appearance or her actions. Naam, and he mentioned a hadith that the Messenger of Allah said, that he should not disgrace her. That he should not disgrace her. So you should not insult your wife, ya ikhwan. Don't, and as we mentioned, ya ikhwan, on Friday, many of the brothers, they insult their wife when they gain weight, and she gained weight because she had your children. And if you don't like her gaining the weight, then take her walking. But many brothers, you can't take her walking because you're on the computer. And then you blame she's overweight. Take her walking. Shaykh al-Amin, ya ikhwan, as a footnote, he mentions that as the brother Abu Muhammad al-Maghribi, my Allah reward him with good, was mentioning the same thing with the children. And Shaykh al-Amin, he says that people have problems with their children because they didn't do one thing. He said lunch and dinner. He said if you have lunch with your child, it will make the world of a difference. Lunch, ya ikhwan, how long does lunch take? He said, but when you don't have lunch and dinner with your children, you make a gap between you and your children, and then when they get older, they don't want to have anything to do with you. Time, ya ikhwan. Now, number 6. La yahjuruha, that he not boycott her. That he should not boycott her. Now, and he's going to explain. Yahjuruha, right? He said, from the rights of the wife upon her husband, that he should not boycott her unless there is a reason for him to boycott her as a means of discipline. Naam, he said, and if there is a means, naam. He said, and if he boycotts her, then it should only be done in the home, meaning he should not leave the home. Naam, and he mentioned the hadith, وَلَا يَحْجُرُهُ إِلَّا فِي الْبَيْتِ, and let him not boycott her except in the home. And ya ikhwan, this verse, وَحْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ, and boycott them in the beds. The ulama, they say there are many different tafsir about this. Naam, and it's not that the man says, okay, I'm going to boycott you, I'm going to lie on the bed, you're going to lie on the couch. I'm going to lie on the bed, you're going to lie on the floor. Many of the explanations of this, they say when you boycott your wife, you boycott her, and y'all on the same bed. Turn your back to her. Or you don't sleep under the same sheet. Or you're not intimate with her. That's boycotting. It doesn't mean that you're going to make your wife sleep in the car, ya ikhwan, or she's going to sleep on the couch. Naam? What number was that? 6. And it was what? Don't boycott her without a reason. Naam, and it has, to be in the proper way that you boycott. Number 7 is La yufshi sirraha, that you should not expose her secrets. Don't expose her secrets, right? He said, so the man should not speak about the same thing we mentioned last night, that which the door is closed upon, especially that which is connected to being intimate. Naam, so you should not go out and disclose the secrets of your wife.